KK Barrett, who we were so fortunate to have as our production designer, can build out a seemingly absurd world in the most beautiful and unexpected and meaningful ways. And we knew that we wanted him so bad, and we're so lucky that he signed on.
He really has a vision and understands how to bring it to life. And he's added so much dimension to this story.
The world that KK's created is just something fun and exciting.
He gave it this timeless quality, this left-of-center quality that we haven't ever seen in DC movies.
He doesn't read a script and just look at production design. He thinks about the script, the characters, the world. It's very creative, it's very collaborative, it's thinking outside the box. You can tell that he's got that filmmaker mind because it's not what you'd expect to see. It's just taking the themes to a whole nother level.
I try to do a different genre every time. And there's a lot of things to be done in the world of comics. I thought of it as pop art, and I kind of addressed it as pop art. I play with a lot of different palettes and physical environments that I normally don't get to play with. It was a fantasy land.
We have a different version of Gotham. Gotham's interesting because it always serves as the backdrop, but we don't usually spend a lot of time delving into the inner life of Gotham. And we're doing that a little bit in this film.
I think it's all about attitude. This movie lives in a Gotham that is a little bit more edgy and tough.
I always said, too, like, our Gotham should feel not like a post-apocalyptic nightmare, but actually a place that's seen better days, but a place that is also still, like, vibrant and fun.
If Gotham is New York, we've always been in Manhattan. But that's really Bruce Wayne's Gotham. That's Batman's Gotham. And we're trying to be on the fringes a little more. We're in Brooklyn and Queens and the Bronx. We're in a heightened version of that idea, and it's a land of misfits.
KK was really able to execute that, and he just brings so much taste to everything.
I approached it as if I got to decide what was in Harlequin's head.
Oh, I haven't had breakfast yet.
And so rather than say, this is the world of Gotham that we know through different variations, through different Bat movies, I said, no, this is what's in Harley's head, and this is how she sees things. You have to be true to the characters. And so it was true to Harley.
Parlay?
The Funhouse? I mean, when I walked on the soundstage and saw that this is where we were going to do this epic battle, my jaw just dropped open.
I went on set and I was like, whoa, this is awesome.
It's incredible. The sets are so colorful and surreal and just absolute works of art. This isn't just like a movie set. This is something that feels sort of iconic and totally unusual and totally unlike anything I've seen in a movie before.
The Funhouse originally was in a hotel, and then we moved it to a fun house, and now we get to do the craziest things. And we really are paying homage to a lot of the filmmakers and films that we both love together.
We wanted something bright, irreverent, and dirty, kind of an abused pop aesthetic.
The Funhouse. I remember Christina and I actually, when we used to write it all up on the whiteboard, we called that the cocktail shaker. It's just when everything gets thrown together and just shook up. It's just an explosion of color. It's really amazing.
This is Louise. This is a set designer of this particular set. Louise built many, many models, trying parts in and out until it finally came to the shape that it's in. And this is Kazra, our supervising art director, who is also responsible for this set and all the others.
It was great because Luis's model tables are in the middle of the art department. We were all working on all the other things that we had to do, but everyone would walk by and have a conversation about it constantly. It was the most interesting thing, and it was kind of the epicenter of the art department, so I feel like there was a lot of input and a lot of oohs and ahs from other people in the film as well.
She's been really encouraging. I mean, really open-minded. This set was originally a hotel and a lobby and a staircase, and so she'd just come down to our room, and every time she'd look at the model, like, she's like enjoying it so much and dragging Margot down and everybody else and saying, like, this is your fun house.
To have the chance to play for months on end, it was really play. I mean, we were building models with colors. I mean, you don't have a linear process. You try different things. You don't know what's going to work.
No real rules in a fun house. We kind of played on the fact that it was a girl gang and there were a lot of girl parts in the funhouse, making fun of a bit of how women are portrayed often, but not in a derogatory sense, just a nod to history as these women kind of take control in the same space and then flip the odds on the gang that's against them.
This was kind of based on a carousel building with a small apartment above it.
The area that they're in, the safe house, before they get to the fun house, was probably my favorite set to stand in because it was six-sided and you never really got your bearings. It kept moving around.
This is so great.
The trigger came from us trying to reference another abandoned funhouse carousel pier, which was the Santa Monica Pier. Then it had many permutations, many permutations. It's all here.
Like our brains have a baby.
And we always wanted to have low walls where the ceilings start going up from there. So you feel like there was a lot more over you than that you saw. I loved it even before it was painted. I liked being in the space. They're opposites, so they vibrate. So it makes you even more psychotropic.
Oh, shit! Get down! Down here! Come! Follow me!
And then there's a trapdoor in the middle of it that's a long slide that takes you down into the funhouse.
I think the slide is a pretty unique thing in this set. I've never done anything like that. The slide's like 55 linear feet. And it's a 4-foot diameter. Slide is really fun.
I thought we could do this interview going down the slide, but I thought it would take about 30 passes.
Yeah.
What?
You are so cool. Okay, this way.
We always thought that it was abandoned and kind of on the blink. The plan was that as they came in, it kind of came to life. A little bit of light came on, and different areas would have some light, and other ones would still be dark. But by the time they got to the end, they were all on and still on the blink. Well, I think the blink kind of like just bought Vegas instead.
We see all the women all fighting together for the first time and interact with such an interesting and beautiful world. Each woman has a very well-defined look. It's, I think, very iconic.
It started as being written as a carousel, and then we flipped it to a turntable of flexible hands. And the fact that you were able to see the room in 360 by the action on the turntable going around and flashing to the different areas.
Anyone else hungry?
We had this plan to build this on the Santa Monica Pier. And we were going to build it against the carousel building. And then we realized how impractical the limitations were, and we just took the whole idea and moved it, and realized that we were being slavish to the building and its architecture, and this freed us up that we didn't have to include any of that architecture. The head and hands were carved flat in a warehouse during the rainy season out of white bead foam and from a grid. So they're built out of blocks, and each block had an assignment of where it belonged in the grid. And then, like the Egyptians, it came here and they stacked all the boxes up. And it came out perfect. They were never able to put it together until we brought it here. And it was all carved by hand. Painted here, plastered here, patched up here. It took about a week.
The funhouse is insane. They've just gone to town. That is like bigger and wilder and weirder than I'd ever dreamed.
Any gag that you wanted to pull off, you didn't have justification for it. In a funhouse, you can do whatever you want. Movies are a delicate curation of all the people that come together to work on them. From Sue to Margot, to Brian, to Kathy, Aaron, and Maddie. It's such a good, spirited group of people that all want to push and do something different and have fun with it. and respect the energy of this type of film, but also twist it and spit it out kind of fun, you know?